Our next speaker is a pranic healer and a management consultant. He was born in India but grew up and lives in Amsterdam, the Netherlands, starting his first business there in 1992. He started teaching pranic healing in 2002 and was appointed by Grandmaster Chua Sui as a direct licensee for the Netherlands and Belgium in 2006. He has been applying his management skills in pranic healing and also used the techniques to help various organizations grow and flourish. He used those very modules to help spread the teachings via modern management methods and how they correlate to management by the 7 rays. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Vivek Joshi.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm so happy to be here. Let's talk about pranic healing and management. I would like to cover the topic in 2 parts. The first part would be how can we use pranic healing in management? And for that, I will have to discuss some management topics. How many of you in the audience have a management position or own a business? Wow, that's a lot. How many of you manage a household, house husband, housewives? You're managers too. So many managers in the room today. We'll look at some purposes and modern management practices, and then we'll associate them with the teachings of Master Choa Sui. Why would we have management in the first place? One of the purposes could be to translate group effort into maximum result, to organize and coordinate activities of an organization in order to achieve defined objectives, or even solving crises. I'm not going to discuss any of those. We're going to be looking at getting great results through implementing cultural change. Who would like to have great results? Then this is probably interesting for you. I will not be able to go through all of them in detail, but it's nice for you to have some background information on some practices. For instance, did you know that the research on what makes an organization great has been done in 2001 and the years before? There's an author called Jim Collins. He wrote the book Good to Great. Like I said, I cannot go through all the details, but it boils down to disciplined people that have disciplined thought and disciplined action. So that already must start to sound familiar. Later we'll associate more of these things. Although Jim Collins describes what are the components of a great organization, he doesn't really offer a method on how to get there. This is where Fred Kaufman comes in. The question is, what culture do we need in order to execute our strategy and fulfill our mission? And there are 7 qualities that play a part in that. These 7 qualities are divided in 3 character attributes and 3 interpersonal skills and 1 enabling condition. I can summarize it as you need responsible people with integrity and humility that are authentic, constructive, and impeccable. Now, that was a quick review. I hope I didn't bore you too much. At least the diagrams were pretty. Now let's go to Master Choa Sui. How do these things correlate with the teachings of Master Choa Sui? And this is the best part. If you want to be successful, copy the management system of God. Ray 1 translates to the strict application of punishment and reward. So this is also a management style. Ray 2 is connected to management through consensus. It's love and wisdom. Ray 3 is active intelligence, and this is connected to project management, task management, program management. Ray 4 is harmonizing through conflicting factors. In esoteric books, it's also called harmony through conflict. So, but this sounds almost like warfare, so I like this one. Ray 5 is concrete intelligence, and sorry, I get another mic. I'm doing a striptease act now. It's like I would do anything to entertain you guys, I guess. You know. Ah, that's better. Where was I? Ray 5, right? Concrete intelligence. So this is where things like IT, quality management, resource and development come in. Ray 6 is connected to devotion, and according to Master Chia, this is also people management. Everything that's connected to human resources, paying people properly, having nurturing training sessions, all that kind of stuff is Ray 6. Ray 7 is structure and organization. Could be boring sometimes, so it's very important. It's rules and regulations, compliance, roles and responsibilities, lines of communication. It's all connected to Ray 7. So this was just a short review, and maybe new to some people. Now let's look at how these things correlate over here. So level 5 leadership is defined as leaders that are humble and at the same time are focused on the goals of the organization. Humility is a very important component of creating a great organization. Then maybe some of you remember Master Cho saying, well, if you have a good team, they can make a bad plan work, but if you have a bad team, even if you give them the best of plans, they're very likely to fail. You remember that, maybe from spiritual business management or any lectures? Yeah? Okay, so I just wrote it down as team versus plan, and this is all connected to disciplined people. Then disciplined thought is confronting the brutal facts. Later on, we'll confront some brutal facts. At the same time, never giving up. So never lose hope, never lose faith, but be honest. And this is connected to accurate perception. Then the hedgehog concept is a concept of a business model or a formula for success, if you like, where there's a trinity of three things. One is your service or product is something you're passionate about. The second is it's something you can be good at or you feel you may even be the best at. And the third component is that it should generate income. It should be something that can generate a profit. If you combine these three things, you have what is called the hedgehog concept. Then the culture of discipline is, of course, very simple. It's connected to one-pointedness and constancy of aim and effort. I think, I'm not sure, I just read the title, but maybe Master Ko will talk about it later. How to become unstoppable in Pranic. Who knows? I'll leave it up to you. And then, of course, the most successful organizations, they use technology to benefit their hedgehog concept and not so much being on the latest fashion of technology. And this is an important thing to notice. You know, people invest a lot in technology. I've been in the business in the hope that it will improve their results. That is often not the case unless you also take care of the other things. Did you, for instance, know that Walmart has their own satellite infrastructure? But it serves their hedgehog concept. And they weren't the first to have a flashy website or other new technology. They took their time, they analyzed what they really needed, and then invested in that heavily. So these are very loose associations because the method used was from a different perspective by Jim Collins. Now let's look at the conscious business associations. Here, we see almost a one-to-one mapping of the 7 rays. Now this is very interesting. When I came across this, I said, this looks familiar. So the character attributes are like a higher trinity, and the interpersonal skills are a lower trinity. And there's something he calls an enabling condition, and he says, well, emotional mastery is the basis to create the others. Without that, you won't be able to have the right character attributes and the interpersonal skills. So these are like the first steps towards self-mastery and soul mastery. There are so many interesting methods out there. I cannot discuss all of them. I just wanted to touch upon a few. And I just want to give you an idea of some general observations I've made while studying the other methods. You will find that there's a lot of references to character building leading to cultural change. And of course, everyone calls it differently. I was very pleasantly surprised to know that there's even talk of things like self-mastery and soul mastery, sometimes implicit, sometimes even explicitly the word soul is used. So I'm thinking we're getting to a stage where you're able to build a bridge from existing practices to pranic healing in the corporate world. In my experience, when interacting with board members and CEOs of large companies and multinationals, the top executives are normally very open to what we do. And this may come as a surprise. At least it came as a surprise to me how accessible these people are. So now let's get into more practical stuff. This was a lot of theory. Thank you for bearing with me. Hopefully it will give you some references that when you go into businesses, you know where to make the connection. I think that's the most important part. For practical applications, of course, we have a lot of things you already know. Pranic feng shui, psychic self-defense, kriya shakti, spiritual business management. Those are all things we already know. I would like to go into some applications that are maybe less well known. One of the things I've been working on is what I call pranic chakra reading. For that, I would need a volunteer. Is there anyone that would like to have their character revealed based on their chakras? It's a lot of people. Okay. Let's see. There's even people way at the back. I'm just scanning. Give me a second. So how about the sir down here with the black t-shirt? Yeah. If you could move towards the mic, just stay there for a while, and I'll just need to cover a few more things. It gives you a little time to get there. We'll turn on the mics a bit.
Right here?
Fantastic.
Okay.
Just a second. So I'll first show you what it's about. The process is you just scan the chakras, and based on that, you get an idea of what the character of the person is, right? We know the psychological functions of the chakras. Yes? Okay. Is there any, could you please introduce yourself?
Hello, everyone. My name is Argo Kishishian from Los Angeles, California.
Welcome. Thank you for participating. I'll do like a short version because I'm very limited in time, but I'll just give you some highlights. So in vision, plan, and action, if you look at these three components, you're a very dynamic person. The basic is strong. You act a lot. Good planning. I think out of those three, sometimes you may be finding it difficult to make choices. Like I have so many opportunities. Which one shall I pick? I think, but once you've picked your opportunity, you're able to translate it to the plan, the steps needed, and then you go for it. In general, you're a person with a big heart. People tend to like you. That helps. And also you have a strong crown chakra. So you have these spiritual interests. Otherwise you wouldn't be here. I mean, that's kind of a simple one. But and somehow you're able to balance them with your practical things. So that's very good. Although I think sometimes the practical things may take over. You just have no choice. So this is just like a brief scan. Does that make sense to you?
One day I'll be able to get that formula right. Will be a very nice balance from business to spirituality, but I have to say, month to month, year to year, it's just been constantly better and better. So at least on the better side, yes.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So this is just to give you an idea of, I mean, it's very short. Normally it would take more time. I actually create reports of people never met. We just scan the chakras, write reports. The first report I sold in 2004 to an assessment company. And after that, I thought, well, having an IT background, you can make an algorithm that takes the chakras as input and generates a profile. And this is what we've been calling Pranic chakra reading, and it's a commercial product right now. It's a mature application of pranic psychotherapy for the business world. There's many applications. Thank you. Based on just the profiling, the chakra reading, you can probably see there's a great potential to apply pranic psychotherapy for cultural change. And I think that's a very interesting application. I'm working on that right now. Imagine that there's a multi-billion-dollar multinational with hundreds of thousands of people working there. And you're allowed to do at least some pilot studies and maybe even implement it at a larger scale. What would be the impact of applying pranic psychotherapy to so many people? The 7 rays, we touched upon them before. They can be used as a framework for many things. Maybe someday I will focus just on that. I'll have to quickly wrap up now. So, in conclusion, use pranic healing in management. Use management in pranic healing. And the key to both is what we have learned from Master Choa Sui: character building and soul realization. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, Vivek Joshi.